This is Drew from Arrowbrick Gaming, and I definitely do not listen to Discard to Reroll.
Touch roll trash, Daddy.
I won't roll trash.
That thing looks dangerous, man. Poorly made. The little kid made it.
So you don't have to look at it anymore.
I'm 90% sure Matt is Kylo Ren.
Hey everybody, this is Agent of Zion from Artificery. I really don't listen to any Destiny podcasts, but top of the list of the ones that I don't listen to, Discard to Reroll.
Hey, this is Bobby Sapphire from the Hyperloops, and I legit never listen to Mr. Chip on Discard to Reroll.
Discard to Reroll.
It's Discard to Reroll. It's a podcast about a little dice and card game we like to call Star Wars Destiny. I'm your host, Mr. Chip, and thank you for listening. And ladies and gentlemen, back by popular demand. The people clamored for it. I couldn't believe it. I went over to PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania last week, and we'll break some of that down. You've heard a lot of great content creators talk about it, but I'll give you my take on it. But I'll tell you what, I was excited to meet the people, talk about the community and all the great stuff that's happening in the world of Star Wars Destiny. The only thing people talked to me about was this guy. He's the Thunda from Down Under. They said, where's the Thunda? I said, I don't know where the Thunda is. He's stuck in a snowstorm someplace. He's the Thunda from Down Under. He's the Copilot, but I'm not supposed to call him the Copilot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ray. Ray, how are you?
I really would wish that you would stop saying Thunda from Down Under.
That's what you are.
I'm afraid it's going to catch on.
That's the goal.
I'm really nervous.
Well, are you the co-pilot? Then before we started, I said, all right, you're the co-pilot. Now you said, well, I'm not the co-pilot. The co-pilot. In typical Ray fashion, I'm not that. That's not what I am. But you have a logo. You got a YouTube channel. People are subscribing like crazy.
Yeah, I had to be a little difficult. No, it's just like a little side project I got going here. I call it the co-pilot. You said I could talk about it, so I am. Yeah, it's a YouTube channel. I just want to get back to like the essence of why I enjoy this game, and I just put together a channel, and I'm getting a lot of support from the community. I really appreciate it. People have reached out to me, so yeah, go check it out. It's just I only have one video up yet, but I have some things scheduled in the future. But yeah, that's it. The co-pilot.
It's a great video.
Thanks.
You played your deck. You played Poe. What's his face?
Poe Han.
Poe Han, yeah. It was great. It was memorable. See, I didn't remember your the card. No, it was really good. It was really. I do have one piece of feedback for you. You ready for it? We're going to do it live. Well, it's not live, but we're going to do it recorded. I think when you used, this would be amazing if this is accurate, that I caught it. That's how closely, Ray, the world watches you. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
It's like Tom Brady and the Patriots. You just watch a master at work. Even if I don't like the Patriots, you kind of watch them. There is a point when Poe has a special, right? He's kind of known for a special. You can do that special chaining stuff with Poe.
Yep.
Right. When you use that special, you can turn a die to another side. Correct?
Yeah, that's the wording.
Yeah, but isn't there also something that you give a character a shield?
Oh, I missed the shield.
I'm just saying. I thought it wasn't an either or. There's not
that's embarrassing.
If then.
I'm taking it down.
I'm just saying. Maybe it was me. I would put the money on you.
Is there a May on there?
I mean, there might be. Did you elect not to do it? What I wanted to know was what was I not seeing and why you wouldn't want the shield? I'm sure there was a reason. Maybe there was a card he had that was going to do damage for you having that shield.
Yeah, it was next level gameplay right there. I actually, as I uploaded it, I always watch the videos just to make sure I didn't play complete garbage. And I did notice that he easy picking, however you say that, easy picking two of my dice after Cassian was already down.
Yeah.
So my mistake. He it went through. I got to get a little sharper, but yeah, it's just a little fun side project. I'm not taking it overly serious. I just want to push out content for the community.
Ray, those things are hard to do. I think that you did a nice job, I think, talking it through. You've done that before and all the different stuff when you've made content before, but it's hard to make sure you catch all that stuff. I definitely would beat myself up about that when you play and you miss that type of stuff. I don't know any tips or tricks like how you don't miss it, particularly when you're explaining things out loud. And for the record, I don't mean to call that guy out, but he was a little salty. It just felt like there was salt there. I don't know. I just felt there was salt there. I don't know why.
They're just slinging the dice around a little too hard.
A little too fast for me. A little too handsy with the virtual hands on your stuff. And just like, hands. Yeah, and like he didn't give you, like, it was your action and he was already doing stuff. And I don't know. That's me being critical.
Well, I appreciate you pointing out that it's not easy. I don't want to say it's like overly difficult. It's not easy, but I have become, comfortable kind of just talking through my plays, because it's basically like everything we do in our own heads as we're actually playing the game. It's just actually, articulating them and saying it out loud. Drew from Auerbrook does a great job. So, props to him as well. But yeah, it is slightly difficult to do. And sometimes you do have a few misplays here and there because you are so focused on, giving the viewer kind of engaging, tips and trying to get into your head.
Yeah, this I think should be your theme song. Hold on, let me see if I got it queued up. It's a little loud. Hold on, I got to lower it. Does it ring a bell?
No, it doesn't ring a bell because
No?
I muted that since day one.
Okay.
So,
like, when you're making a game, I don't care if you're making like Doom 4 or Tabletop Simulator. Like, I don't know in any universe. Like, this to me screams like, yes, I'm going to throw some dice. God, that's just haunting.
When I first started playing on TTS, like, I was really bad. I didn't know, like, the hotkeys and things like that.
Yeah.
And that, to be honest with you, that song used to get me, like, really excited. Like, I was, like, pumped up. Like,
like, this is your entrance music?
Yeah, it's going to be a good day. Like, it felt like that.
It's got that kind of you should play it when you're going to the base, like with the guys with the chopper. Hey guys, just before we go up, I just want to play you a little song. Could you just throw it on the what do you got? 8-track player in your helicopters? Do they have radios in those things?
Yeah, they have like pretty high tech radios, but nothing for enjoyment.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't think music would be something you want to have on in a helicopter.
Yeah, why make the ride fun?
Exactly. I think it's business. It's business up there, Ray. Hey, speaking of business, I got a chance to meet a lot of great people in Philadelphia, and it is a very cool city to have a tournament. And my best friend Zach and I drove down, and it was nice to have him there. And honestly, we've done a few of these like little guy nerd trips. The last big convention where we played cards and stuff like this, when it happened to be Magic. It was 1997, Ray. How old were you in 97?
I was like 8 years old.
Good God. Good.
That's how old you are. So if the listeners aren't aware of your age, that's how old you are, not how young I am.
It was Origins, and which is another great, that stayed great. That's actually a really good convention to go to. But this was super fun. It had a great vibe. Funny, true story. It was on Saturday. We were waiting to get in, and the line was crazy to get in because of just the way security was and the way they had things mapped out, which I thought they did a nice job getting people through. I mean, I can understand people getting a little grouchy, waiting 20 minutes to get inside. Thankfully, the weather was pretty good, at least during the day. And I ran into the Auerbrook Gaming guys. And the reason why I knew they were the Auerbrook Gaming guys is because there was this 6-foot guy in crutches, which happens to be Paul, Forever Fet, and their whole crew. And I got a chance to talk to Drew. First thing Drew says to me, so is Ray going to be on? Is he a new co-host? Like, what gives? This is it. I've done this podcast. That was the 29th episode, I think. It's all about you, Ray. That's how popular you are.
Well, I have a really good relationship with the Auerbrook guys, and you're not lying.
Like, I hear you smiling. Laugh it up. Laugh it up.
They're all giants.
Yeah.
They're pretty huge. The funniest thing about it is Phoenix, Kyle, Drew's younger brother, is he's a little guy. So it's kind of funny that I don't know where Kyle went wrong in he didn't get any of the height. Or the size, but no, they're giants. Those dudes are pretty big.
Now I forget names, and I'm really really bad with this, but there was a guy who Zach got a chance to talk to that was from their crew. Man, I'm forgetting his name right now. He had the fanciest shoes you ever want to see somebody play Destiny. Fancy shoes. I think he went 3-3, and I think 2 of the wins were just on shoes alone. People just scooped when they saw him sit down, but it was really a great time. Here's what I've learned, Ray, after going to one of these things. This is not to be critical, but it's going to sound critical, which usually means it is critical. People in the Destiny community and in, I think, collectible card games or trading card games as a whole, I'm not going to say they're not social. I think that it might be hard to be outwardly social. Is that like? Is there more?
This is sounding bad, but I'll just
no. It's more. It's more introverted. The people are more introverted. And here's what I felt like: if I didn't go up to people, people just wouldn't come to you. Now there are a few exceptions. Alan Preston was there, which was great to see him. Banana Crapshoot was there, and a few of the guys from the Golden Dice, of course, were fantastic. But as a whole. And I understand why. I mean, you wouldn't want to bother somebody I was really looking forward to meeting people. And so I kind of talked to people on the side or as I went through and, make yourself available to just chat with people so they feel comfortable. So I guess that's what I'm saying is that it was a very positive group. It's just, it's not like a social mixer. That's just not it's not their scene.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I go to events, I try to be, I'm already a pretty social guy. I mean, anyone that meets me, I love to talk. I love to just, engage with people. But you are right. There are times where if you don't make the first move to just reach out to the community, sometimes, they do. People are hesitant to kind of come up to you and engage in a conversation. But once you get rolling, what I always say, what's so great about, any card game or anything that you enjoy playing is when you go to these events, everybody, that's the one thing you have in common is
right, for sure.
Everybody's there for one reason. So that could be your baseline to have a conversation, and then you just go from there. And usually, you really get to know people. And with the community being so small, it really is. It's not one of those like Magic the Gathering games. If you say, hey, I go to this local and I know this guy, and I have the benefit of like traveling from northern New York all the way down into Pennsylvania and all of New Jersey. So I do know a lot of people on the East Coast, and it's fun. I go to certain regionals and I see the same faces. I actually went to the Ohio regional, I guess earlier in this year, and just I'm really good with faces, horrible with names. And I just went up to a guy. I just said, "Hey, man, where do I know you from?" And he was like, "Oh, I was top 4 at the Rochester Regional." And I was like, "That's where I knew you from." And then we started talking.
There you go.
And yeah, if you went up to someone like on the street and just said like, "Hey, where do I know you from?" and you awkwardly sat there for 15, 20 minutes trying to figure that out before they told you to just get away from them. Yeah. It's just a little bit different because we're all doing the same thing. Maybe you should set up like an autograph booth. Maybe that would. I was
going to put something like "Come talk to me about Destiny," like a sign. You wear the shirt to try and just let people know, like, "Hey, come up, let's sling some dice." But here's the thing: I think the changes that have happened with the competitive scene at GQs and tournaments like this, particularly with Cascade Games. And I give Fantasy Flight a hard time, and deservedly so. Cascade Games does a great job, and I think they really work hard to make sure the experience is positive, and they made that setting really functional. And again, they did such a great job in setting that all up. But the way that it's structured now with prizes, and everybody talks about these tickets, and if you don't know what we're talking about, the big prize at any of these types of things, particularly at GQ, this is the kickoff to the spot gloss season. Now, you might hear people call them glass and all kinds of, it's spot gloss. It's what these cards are called. They're just kind of cool, see-through-ish cards with either the same art that's on the regular card or like a full, the full card, like landscape version of that art, which is fantastic, or just the whole character. You get to see more of the card. It just looks really, really cool. Would you agree on that, Ray? Do you have any spot glosses?
I do not.
Ray.
I'm really lame with that.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't been to a GQ. PAX was going to be my first GQ, but unfortunately
Ray.
I was stuck in a tent, and the Army had other plans for me.
Yeah.
But I have a question. Are the battlefields, like the full art, are they just full arts, or are they also that plastic?
No, they're that same material. Yeah.
Okay.
Same material.
That's pretty cool.
And they had a bunch of them there. I didn't see any of the new battlefields. They were all like, I think there were a few Legacies battlefields, and then Awakenings block. But I mean, that's the prize. That's what people are playing for. Or they have mats, and they reduced the cost of those so much so the 2-player mat, it's got Maul and I think who is it, Obi-Wan on that mat. It was 10 tickets. Now 10 tickets, if you do the math here, you get a ticket now for a loss in whatever you play, whether it's in what they call pods or if you play in the actual tournament, which they had a few of them. They had 2 trilogies and they had a standard tournament. You get a ticket for a loss, you get 2 for a win, and then you get bonus tickets after 3 wins, I think, or something all the way up. Whatever it is. But the point being is that there's incentive now for you to stick around and play, because when you stick around and play, you're going to get some tickets. So if you go 0-6, right, because it's 6 games, that's 6 tickets, which means it's a spot clause, because they lowered the price of the Awakenings block to 6 tickets. So that means Palpatine, which was going for $350 up until this tournament, which is crazy. And there's a ton of great stuff there. And then it's eight tickets for one from Legacies. And then it's the newest ones, which are Across the Galaxy, Away of the Force. Those were 10. So all you had to do was win once, and then you're into a Legacy. You get a Yoda, which they had plenty of those. And then if you win a couple times, you're guaranteed to get, one of the newer ones, which is fantastic. So they really made it accessible. Here's the problem. If you're not playing in those tournaments, which, it's kind of shame on us because we didn't, they have these things called pods. So you register for these pods, and either you register with a whole group of people, which traditionally it's 8 is usually how they like to fire those things off. But there's a funny story about that, which I'll tell you in a minute. So you get your group together, and either you go as a whole group or they randomly just kind of jam you together. And you heard some people talking about it. If you listen to any of the other great content creators that are out there, they've talked about this Best Coast Pairings app, which they use. I'm not sure Cascade Games makes it, but it's it's not the greatest looking app, but it was really functional, and they did a nice job with it. And so that you kind of look at that and wait until your pod gets filled. If you were doing it like you didn't have a full group ready to go. So of course we get there like super late on Friday. The trilogy event's already well underway. We sign up for a pod. It's us and one other person. So they won't fire that off until I think they get at least 6. And so unfortunately, since people are playing and there's no incentive to stop now, which is exactly what they wanted to do, we had to wait until that tournament was over. So you don't get a pod off, which is that's our fault. So we just played a ton of games ourselves.
That's good. Is this your, I think we all hammered home how GQ works and the tickets and things like that. Is this you confessing that you went 0-6? No,
I didn't play in that thing. I didn't know.
Okay.
There's incentive to go 0-6. Here's the thing. So then we did pods after that. So we ended up doing 3 pods of whatever it was. I don't remember if it was trilogy or standard. Who the heck cares? And then the next day, which was standard, I just did. If this is a huge convention, Ray. There's more to life, Ray, than just Destiny. All right, that's an important lesson for you to learn in life. And PAX Unplugged, I feel like you're like me. You'd see all the cool other stuff and be like, yeah, I kind of want to see those board games, or I want to see these other games that are there. There's tons of other things that you could do. I felt like if we did any of the tournaments, you're locked into that all day long. That's it. That's a 5-hour commitment, which isn't bad. But a pod is like a 2-hour commitment, and then you can go to the bathroom, or just go upstairs and look at the show floor, or walk around, or do whatever you wanted to do. And I felt like I don't get a chance to go out like this all that often. I'm going to get a lot of Destiny in. I'm not a huge fan of this meta right now. I wanted it to shake out a little bit, and so we just did pods both days.
How many days were you there total? All 3?
We took off on Sunday. Okay. Yeah, because it was a 6-hour drive for us, and the greatest part about this was that. So Zach came over on Friday really, really early. So our goal was to get out by 5. He was there 5:30, which was close enough. And car's all loaded up, and go to back it out, and it's dead. Battery dies. So that's
that's tough.
Yeah, so I have a hybrid. I don't know I must have hit the button wrong. It was idling too long. I blamed it on Zach because we were supposed to be there at 5. I said it's because it idled for half an hour. But, you'd think a car could be able to do that, hybrid or not. So we switched cars over to his car, which is fine. Halfway there, we're in Lord knows where at a gas station, and a guy comes over in full military garb. His truck was dead. Now, Zach's never jumped a car in his life. He's jumped 2 now. We saved the U.S. military, by the way, Ray. Jumped the car.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for my service. We jumped the car, or Zach did. He's on his way. True story. Swear to God. It's time to go. It's Sunday morning. We get the car loaded up. Zach goes to open up the trunk of his. He's got a Honda Pilot. Goes to open up the trunk. And he's like, man, that's odd. I wonder why it's not. Usually you hit the button and the thing goes. I'm like, yeah, right. Your car's a piece of junk. Goes to start it. Car's dead. His car's dead in the parking lot. It wasn't even parking lot. It was the garage of the Bellevue Hotel in Philadelphia.
What's going on here?
I don't know. There's something at work.
Don't you drive like a Prius or something?
It's Lucas's fault. I do drive a Prius, Ray. You know why? Because I'm saving for all this like car engines you have in your life and all the cylinders. I'm saving the earth. I have to drive a Prius and eat vegan.
You should put a pack of like double A's in your glove compartment.
So we had an Uber. Well, we walked to an AutoZone because, you'd think for $300 a night at the Bellevue, they'd be able to jump your car in the garage. But no, they don't have that ability to do that, evidently. So we had to walk to an AutoZone. He bought a battery, and I said, you just get one of these things, like they're like a jump start thing. I'm like, I think you can just buy them and it starts your car. He's like, I don't know. I'm going to buy the battery. And then he bought a tool set. Jeez, we're going to change your battery in the freaking garage. So then we take an Uber all the way back. The Uber guy was the best. Goes in the garage up to the 5th floor of the freaking hotel, whatever it is, parking lot. And we pull this thing, looks like it's $5. Like it's the cheapest plastic. Looks like a toy. Put it on the engine, clip it on, starts the car. Perfect.
That's one hell of a story.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm baffled. Your little joke and sly remark towards the hotel, like they were supposed to just send the resident mechanic out to the parking garage.
Ray, it's $300 a night. You think they'd have jumper cable, something? Why wouldn't they have one of these?
Doctor on call. What else do they need there?
Ray, why wouldn't you have one of these things? Like this thing was $40 at AutoZone. You put one of these things underneath the counter. Like here you go, use this. This will start your car. Like we had to go to freaking take an Uber there. God,
could you imagine? Like when you go to like the gas station, you ask them to use the bathroom. They have like this ridiculous thing hanging off of it. Here's the car charger with like a ridiculous.
I don't think that's bad.
Keychain hanging off it.
For that,
yeah, okay.
For that price,
maybe put it in your gripes and complaints to the hotel.
All right, one more story here, everybody. If you're just joining us, it's Discard or Reroll. We talk about Destiny. So it's Saturday night. We've done pods, and thankfully the Golden Dice guys were there because that's who we did our pods with, and all of them were great. I had the opportunity, and I told her I would say I lost to her, to Jack's wife, she's a fantastic player. I feel like, Jack dragged her out to this freaking thing. She pulls out Jin Cassian, she did a great job with this deck. But I just crushed her. It was terrible. And I felt bad. And I didn't want to win that game. Like I feel a little bit guilty. Like here she is going out of her way. Her freaking husband's a nerd, trying to be positive. And what do? That was terrible. But I think
I heard her voice the entire time during the Golden Dice's live stream on Twitch.
What was she saying?
I think in the background you can hear her voice just talking.
Saying, Jack, can we please go home now, Jack? Jack.
Yeah, are we done?
Jack, is this over now? Are you kidding me, Jack? You really want to see this match? So it's we did three pods with them, and all of them were just fantastic and cordial. And I'm sure for them, I could tell when I heard them podcast a little bit, like they play each other all the time. So when you do pods like that, you're just kind of playing your normal group. So they let us into their group. So hopefully we brought some spice and some diversity in their meta. Anyway, so we've done 3. We're looking, maybe we can catch one more. Can we do one more real quick before we go back to the hotel? It's late and the tournament's over. Standard just finishes. We're the only 2 registered for a pod. And it happened to be, was it standard? I think it was a standard pod too. Nobody wants to play standard because they've done it all day. Day 2 was standard, right? You've played standard all day. If you're going to do a pod, that's not what you're going to do. No one is there, like totally cleared out except for 2 people. Do you know who one of those people was?
Who are those 2 people? I'm sitting on the edge of my seat right now.
Honestly sarcastic. And Shane.
Whoa.
And Shane, right? So there they are. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm freaking exhausted. I got to take a dump. I got to play these 2 guys. Like they're going to clear my face off. Like I'm not going to have a face when I'm done. I don't want to, this is not what I want to do right now. I'm like not in my best. And these guys just came, I don't know what, Shane, I think went 5-1. Joe went 6-0, like playing Thrawn Snoke. Like I don't want to play these. I'm not ready to play these decks. So, of course they wanted to get into a pod real quick, and you could tell like Shane wanted to get out of there. I don't think they were staying for the next day. And he's like, look, let's just do a pod of 4. Let's get in and out. Let's do it. I'm like, all right, what do I say? No? The answer is yes. You got to play. So they put us in a pot of 4. You talk about pressure.
You gotta play.
Pressure. What do you think about that?
I think it would have been fun. I'm pretty friendly with both of those guys, so
it was fun.
Yeah, we all would go into it knowing that Joe, like you said, was going to wipe the board with everybody. But you'd still throw your best foot forward. Isn't that what you always tell me? Like, no. This is what you always say. Like, no, Ray. No, you always say that to me. No, Ray. We're smart guys. We can figure this out.
You put your pants on the same way, Ray.
That's what you always say.
He goes, He goes pee-pee just like we do, right? Unless they have a bag, and I don't think both of them do. So I will say this, they were both fantastic. They were about as nice as they could be. I would have been grumpy and exhausted. They were both willing to play. We played very quick games, and it was not meant to game the system, but we played very, very quick games. It was super fun. Very quick, low pressure. Good to just even talk to those guys a little bit about things. And I wish it would have been a little bit earlier in the day so we got a chance to talk more. But it was nice to meet him. And I really enjoyed talking to Shane and Joe. Joe said he'd come on, talk to us anytime. I think just people don't ask him. That's really what it's all about.
That's Joe's thing. He always says that. He always says hey, no, all you need to do is just reach out to me and I'll come on any show anytime. So
he's very good. And he's very practical, and I try to throw him. So I know, I listen to their stuff all the time. I listen to any Destiny content, but I love listening to their stuff. I love high level talk. I love low level talk. Doesn't really matter. But his trick is he remembers the numbers of the cost of the cards in your hand. So when he plays Thrawn, he'll say 0, 1, 1, 2, and he'll say it back to himself. Kind of like the Rain Man philosophy there, counting the matchsticks and stuff. So he's playing Thrawn, looks at my hand. I see him doing it. Even if he's playing a casual game, the guy still got his, you could tell they're in a rhythm. They know what's going on. He just played 6 high level games with this deck. So he's starting to look at it. I go 7, 6, 2, 2. He's like, no, you're not going to throw me. It's 0, 1, 1, 2. Just very matter of factly.
You know why he does that next level?
Go ahead, tell me.
Why does he do that? Just take your best guess. You always put me on the spot.
Why? Because it's easy. It's easier to remember.
Yeah, but he also does that because Joe is the master at subtly understanding what you have as far as resources. So that's why his drive-by shooting deck, if you want to call it that, I just call it a hero vehicle deck.
Hero vehicle.
That's why it was so much of a control deck as it was a vehicle deck, because he would consistently watch how much resources you did have, and then he can throw off your resources using that Ezra special. So there was a lot of times where he would just leave that Ezra special waiting out there, because now he knows that if he's able to look in your hand with a Friends in Low Places or a Scruffy, then he's able to see what you could afford and what the potential of mitigation is. So a deck like Thrawn Snoke with a guy like Honestly Sarcastic, that's a match made in heaven, to be honest with you. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, he was scary. He's no match for me, right? I mean, really, when you look at me, I'm just trying to flex the dad guns at him. He didn't even look up.
Yeah.
He didn't look up. The guy could roll over me any day of the week. But again, it was super
vegan
fun.
Muscles.
Those are no joke, man. We get a lot of protein in the diet, a lot of chickpeas, Ray. That's what you need.
Wait, I have a question. We're half an hour in here. I don't even know. And what did you play?
What did I play?
Yeah, what did you end up? What character pairing did you end up going?
So I that's the other thing. Zach, great guy, love his kids and families, wife, everybody. I'm the schlep who brings all my freaking cards. I got the hotel. It was embarrassing going in the hotel with all these things. Traveling with Destiny is just brutal. That alone would make me want to play Transformers. Transformers, the biggest issue of Transformers you got your oversized cards. You can figure those things out, you're good. But I had a Jin Cassian built, and I'll get to it in a minute. I want to talk to you about your Destiny podcast, because those guys really crapped all over that deck, and I've got a beef. I'm going to start a beef across the pond. That way I know they can't get over here unless they come up for Worlds. But
international.
I got a beef for them. Yeah, if it's not Thrawn Snoke, those guys don't like it. They're crapping all over Jin Cassian. Mads says, who's one of the. By the way, I think he's the European champion, something small like that, right? Said that deck was garbage. He said, don't play it. He said I wouldn't recommend anyone playing that deck. And then Klaus over there, says, yeah, there's no spice to it. There's no, you know what's coming. You don't know what's coming, Ray, because you and I have been working on a build of that deck. that they say mill's a secondary win condition. I'd say it's a primary win condition, sir. The way that we play it, right? Well,
yeah, I do like adding in a little bit more pressure for the mill win con, because my theory on the whole deck is
I'm sorry, the what? The mill what? The mill win?
Mill win condition.
I don't think you said no, you said something else. You said win con. Win con. Hold on a minute.
Win con.
Nice job, Ray. That's got win con. Cool term.
You like that?
That's the win condition.
Because I think that if you do not kill Cassian like the end of turn 2, if you're able to drop like a second chance on him if we're playing in standard, I think you get milled. That's like they don't have enough punch to get through the second chance and then deal with Jin's 12 health.
I totally agree. And that deck I think is fantastic. And I don't know. I mean, you can prepare for it all you want, but you see a commando raid come at your face. That's a tough thing to deal with.
Yeah, and Jin's dice constantly, if the commando raid isn't popped off early, it can devastate you late when, they've already churned through your deck. So, yeah, I think Jin's dice are pretty good. I'm kind of really glad that deck has performed maybe like above what other people thought, because everyone was like, yeah, Jin's really bad. She has no resource side on a 12 health character.
That's bad. Her inherent ability is annoying, and it's very good. I think it's very good. I don't know. I felt like that just gives you a lot of knowledge about what's in their deck. You know what's coming. I think we're in a Thrawn Snoke meta when that deck just is, it's brutal. I mean, that deck is brutal. There's no question about it, but I don't know. I think this, I thought it was a lot of fun. So that you asked what I played. That was one of the decks I had ready. I ended up making a Vader deck while I was there. Don't sleep on that. Like that deck is legit. And the brew that was there was Vader Greedo has been the one that was playing. I was playing Vader Stormtrooper.
Oh, a little spice there.
I like that. And that also, by the way, plug for the what we're going to talk about in a minute. That card's going to be reprinted. First Order Stormtrooper reprinted.
I'm super excited about that.
Which is cool, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then I got to give props to one of the Golden Dice guys, or on their team anyway, Tyler Flockington. Tyler was playing the most annoying deck possible, and I said, I'm absolutely going to play this next. And then I ended up playing him, and he wrecked me with it. But it was DJ Talzin. Trilogy now. DJ Talzin. DJ Talzin with Streetwise is just beyond annoying to deal with. Have you played against this deck, Ray?
I have. A buddy of mine is actually working on this. I think he's at a regional today. And he's been like sending me the deck list and asked me to look it over. That deck's super annoying. And I think here's a running joke. He at Kappa Cup, Tyler.
Yeah. Yep.
His name is Tyler Flockton. And now he got the nickname Flockington because at Kappa Cup, I think they messed up his little name tag. And it's been Flockington.
That's what I'm calling him from now on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Mr. Flockington.
Yeah. Mr. Flockington was very generous and shared that list. Of course, put his own spice in. So when he played me again, he just destroyed me with it. But he had 3 Streetwise out. I mean, there's nothing you can do with that. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, it's an Into the Crosshairs for free.
Into the Crosshairs is a very good card. A lot of good cards that it's just all mitigate. You mitigate the heck out of it, and you're doing your damage. And DJ was so I felt like he was such a performer for me. First spot gloss, Zach convinces me to get DJ. That was my choice. So you got all these spot glosses out there. There's Snoke. Everybody wants a Snoke. I didn't want the Snoke, Ray. You know why I didn't want the Snoke spot gloss? Because I think Snoke, whether FFG decides to do it now or in 3 years, is going to get a nerf. And so who wants an old spot gloss with the wrong numbers on it? Not this guy. I worked too hard for those tickets.
Here's my thought process on that. Please. I wonder if Snoke is going to get a bump of some sort, because I don't think that they would spend the money to produce those spot glosses. I know it's made from Cascade Games, but they work. They work in tandem with FFG, and I don't know if they would have done that.
Ray, you and I,
not sure.
You and I, who have a mind that makes sense at times, that uses logic in their decision making, actually thinks things through, plans them out, has an articulated vision. Yes, I would agree with you. They have no idea what one's doing with the other. There's no chance they're that organized and coordinated, so that's why I don't think so.
You're probably right. All those analogies you used is the perfect explanation for discard to reroll.
Thank you. Nonsensical.
Not FFG.
Yeah, Ray. I truly try. Like the audience of this show, Ray. If there's one thing as being the co-pilot, I think you understand. People here, the competitive people who listen to this are just listening for entertainment. It's the common person, the common man and woman who wants to get a little bit better with the game, have a few laughs. Like that's who's listening to this show. So I try not to be negative because no one really cares. But God help them. Could they have sent somebody, anybody? Here's these people who are bending over backward for your game. You couldn't send one person over there. The freaking Transformers had like the developers. I mean, Johnny Transformer himself came out there. Like FFG, nobody, not one person from them.
There was no representatives
Nothing.
from FFG?
Not that. I didn't see one of them there. Now I know they were all the Keyforge line. Keyforge was going crazy. Cascade Games, thank God for them. Thank God for them. They were fantastic. I mean, I can't say enough positive stuff about them. And if they're working in FFG's stead, I get that. But like somebody, it's PAX Unplugged, it's kicking off your GQ. Like somebody make the drive. We made the drive. We freaking drove to the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania for a tournament. Like just make the drive. I don't know.
Yeah, they should have had at least some. Like they should have a traveling PR guy or, just somebody that they needed to show face for sure to the community.
Send the intern out for something. Because
they don't put out, rules
They don't put
updates.
out. That's right. They don't put out. That's for sure. Rules updates. I meant rules updates. Yeah. Anyway, it was a great time. So that deck, I love that deck. Tyler Flockington shared. And then Scott, who great podcast they just did, him and Jack, if you head over to Golden Dice and listen to their stuff. Scott had a real saucy, Zach kept calling it the cherry surprise because another one of their guys was on this Shadowcaster deck, and I think it was with Toby. Zach kept calling him Toby. It's not Tobias. It's Toby Beckenworth. So Toby,
Beckenworth.
Yes, totally Toby Beckenworth. It was the banana surprise because out of nowhere the Shadowcaster comes. It's like surprise, the banana surprise. So BB-8 is in this other build that Scott was had. Which BB-8, by the way, the new BB-8, this just in is pretty good with like black. Is it black 1 is the card and can reset that thing like 150 times.
That's the card. Yeah, I don't know. Like
it was really good,
to make
man.
A deck like that work.
Cherry surprise. It's a little cherry surprise. He comes out, does this little thing.
Man,
that was my BB-8.
You're on point today. I just want to say, like, you're really on point today.
Thank you. Did you like my
BB-8?
Yeah.
Impression? That really put it over the top.
There you go. There it is. I give it for myself. That's my first myself ding today. You don't like that deck?
No, I just haven't. I don't have enough, like exposure to it. I look at the new black 1, and I think with the BB-8 it could do something cute, but I just don't know if resetting a 2-cost black 1 with like a 1 ranged, a 2 ranged, and some other stuff is worth building a deck around. Because like, what are you going to do? Max out with 4 damage that turn? Maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe it's worth exploring. You'll have to show me the way.
Sleeping on it. I mean, I can certainly do my best. I mean, I saw Zach was playing Palpatine, the new Palpatine, with his little – that was his sauce, and I think he got killed in the first round.
Like Legacy's Palpatine?
Like Legacy's Palpatine.
That one is so bad.
What
was Zach playing?
I don't know. He had his great – he was going through my cards like he was mining for gold to put that deck together. I'll let him tell you. I don't know.
Oh,
it was some. And
when
then he had
when
some.
Are we ever going to have Zach on?
It's a long story, my friend. He's never going to do it. I know.
He's one of my favorite people in the Star Wars Destiny community.
Thank you, but he won't come out. He never will. In fact, a lot of this podcasting equipment was left on my front porch a long time ago. I'll let him tell you that story. So Ray, hey, since all this stuff went down, they decided the intern who did set up their Hootsuite, which is their auto propagating, puts out their articles for them on a schedule. I think last year they set up for this year because, no one in their right mind would release information about the new set before they put out a reference guide to their freaking the latest set they put out there. Would they before they put a Balance of the Force out, they wouldn't drop information about a new set, would they, Ray?
No, that would be completely illogical. That's what Spock would say.
Wrong. They did it. They did it. It's Convergence, Ray. They put it out there. It's the new set. It's Convergence. Lord knows when it's coming out, but it's available for pre-order. If you like to give money away for a year in advance, you can certainly do that because Convergence is out. I did a little homework on Convergence. Did you see that in the Google slide deck that I gave you, Ray, about what Convergence in the Star Wars realm is?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Are you going to read this to the folks? Because
was
it like a paragraph?
Well, I figured you, out of all people, would know that it was a Convergence tactical assault vehicle during the Sith Civil War of the Republic Dark Age. I mean, I figured you would have known that.
I was just excited because I knew all the characters that they released.
Oh, what do you mean in the spoilers?
Yeah, can I flex my knowledge later? But you can do this one.
Oh, I do. Yeah, this is just. I mean, I don't know where they got Convergence from. I don't even think they looked at this that we did. But I'll tell you what, I do like the. I like the look of the. They kept with the white, but it looks like they've changed the logo from red to black. So is that the way we're going to know that it's the Convergence block?
I have a question.
Yes.
So I thought the boxes were like the colors, like the first set block was Awakenings, and it was black boxes,
right? And
then Legacies was white. I was really thinking we were going to get like a red box or like and then the boxes would be the different sets. I guess they're just going to change the Star Wars Destiny, like the titling,
the font, the font color,
right?
Yeah,
the font color.
That's what you're going to get
because it was white, then it was red. Now this one's black.
Yeah, that's all you're going to get.
Okay. All right.
So enjoy that.
I guess they like the white boxes.
I like the white box. I think the white boxes look good. I think they have shelf appeal. They're very forward facing. They look very nice. They've got so they put this out there. Ray, they put out their starters. They've got what is that? Obi-Wan Kenobi, a young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what do they call him? What's his name? Like what's the version of that Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Ardent Avenger. Is that what it is?
What does it even mean?
I don't know.
Ardent Avenger. Okay. And then another Grievous, because we just got one. How about another one? Another Grievous. Does Grievous warrant 3 Grievi? Does he warrant 3
Grievi?
Does he warrant that many Grievouses?
Grievi. I just to me again, now we're going back to forward thinking and planning and seeing things through and understanding the environment, all these type of things. I just don't like when they do things like it feels like in rapid succession, like back to back to back. Like we literally just got a new Grievous. That was the big toy, and now we're getting another one. I don't know. It just seems a little fast.
Yeah, it seems pretty quick on that. Well, Jabba as well, because we're going to talk about those in a minute. But those are the starters, and of course, I end up buying 3 of those things. And then the box art, I don't know the name of the character, but I loved the character in Solo, right on the front there with the sweet mask and kind of the fur on the back there. Do you know that character name?
Yeah, super cool. Don't know it. I loved Solo. I just thought that they kind of jammed that whole story arc towards the end. They were like, all right, we need to wrap this up and introduce this group. Ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. We're done. So, it was so fast I didn't even catch the names. But it's that tribe, some people. But they look awesome.
They're the Cloud Riders.
There you go.
Yeah. ENFYS. Enfi's Nest. Is that that could be that character. Anyway, I love the character. I agree with you on that it was kind of felt a little bit tacked on, but I still thought it was super cool. And then Chewie in the goggles.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder, how that's good. Because we've gotten, they did the old bait and switch on us before where the person on the side of the box, did not have a card in the game. I think that was like Jyn Erso was on one of the boxes, but it wasn't, she wasn't released that set.
Well, Boba Fett too. Boba Fett had the art was on a card, but it wasn't a character card.
Right.
It was an event or something. But I can't imagine they're going to do it this time. Maybe they will, but it doesn't look like it. What's the card that does damage if you got resources or something? When they start the turn and it's got him on it.
Rigged detonator.
Good God. Freaking stupid golden dice people got me with that like 17 times, that one card. And then I got hit with, we've got some great kids who play in our local at Just Games in Penfield, quick plug. And he got me with that twice in sealed. Brutal card. But a cool card.
You don't even see it coming, though. That's the thing.
That's it. It's very cool. Well, there it is. It's Convergence, and then a whole bunch. I mean, not just like one or two or three. Like they I think it was like 14 different cards, Ray, and they start with a new. It's not an upgrade, but it's a downgrade. What do you think about these downgrades?
Yeah, so I think that this is super interesting. When I actually saw the look of them, I know that FFG makes like X-Wing and Legion and things like that. They look like cards from those games. Like just they kind of they're reverse, art on the bottom, text on the top. But I think the concept of them is really cool. So for the listeners, a downgrade is something that you can pay for, and it's an upgrade that goes on one of your opponent's characters, and it's usually a somewhat of a negative effect that's going to have on either their character, or if something happens to their character, then it's a positive benefit to you. So I think that's a really cool direction. I like it a lot. Like I think this is a lot easier to understand than like mods were. I think mods took us all a little bit to like wrap our heads around. This is super straightforward, and I'm surprised it took this long for it to come out.
Now, when I look at this, Ray, look at the bottom of these cards, and of course, you can just head over to it's on Twitter. By the way, it's Discard TO Reroll if you want to follow us on Twitter, or just go to the Fantasy Flight's website, games website. It's right there. Look at these cards at the bottom left corner. You see, it kind of looks like a stoplight down there. I know that's just art, like to make the card look cool. But
yeah,
why not, Ray? Why not make that an area that helps the player along? Like if it's spot, yellow, like easy pickings. We talked about that, like getting hit with an easy pickings. Like why not do something like that on the card to help give A, new players a little bit of help, and B, veteran players just a reminder about the cards that are being played.
I do think you have a good idea, like you have something with that. But then again, we're going back to this good ideas, logical, and sensible, forward thinking. I liked the idea. I think you came up with it with bolding the text that says like a spot requirement.
Something, yeah.
Or maybe just an icon in the corner that indicates that
it's right there.
That this card is a spot requirement.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there. So one thing, too, you said that these can be played on your opponent's characters. Did they say that? Like it can't be played in your own?
I'm not sure. But then again, we're not going to know for another 6 months. I don't know. Did the article kind of go over that at all?
Yeah, no, I don't think it did. I got to take another look at it. But Death Mark, for instance, a downgrade. It's a bounty, too. I like the term bounty. Now we're starting to get into some cool stuff. It's got Han Solo on there. It's got a different Han Solo on the side view than it does the front view. But it says for 0, after attached character is defeated, you may draw 3 cards. Now, I can see that going on one of your characters. Maybe there's some kind of mechanic.
I would interpret it as since you're the owner of that card, the owner is the one that actually played it, and even though it's sitting on your opponent's character, you still it's still under your control.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Right.
By the more cards now, by the way, to be lost, but yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know how many, and then you're going to finish a tournament, and they're going to count your cards, and you're going to have 29. Because one of your death marks is still in some kid's box.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Shimogoo's got his fingers all over it. Freaking, by the way, what's his face? Drew with the Pax Pox over there goes home on Sunday. He's like, yeah, just not feeling good. Nice to meet you. Great,
the Pax Pox.
Man, I could drink the sanitizer there. No, just kidding. I'm glad he said, I'm just not feeling 100%, and yeah. But it is he's patient 0. Let me see what it says here about these bounty. These, what are they? Death Mar. Blah, 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 blah. It says here, Convergence introduces a dark reflection to these enhancements in the form of downgrades, cards that you attach to your opponent's characters. A separate card type from upgrades. Every character can have up to 3 downgrades attached to them. Naturally, these downgrades hinder your opponent in some way. Blah, blah, blah. For example, yellow is okay, whatever. But it does say here you can have 3, and man, the boards are going to get big. But there it is.
You're going to have to make a lot of space for.
I thought I lost you
for this.
Were you taking it all in? The bounty?
I I was. No, yeah, you're right. They're going to have to make these playmats bigger.
Jeez. What do you think about the other ones there? So there was Deathmark, there was Wanted, which is a neutral yellow. After attached character is defeated, you may gain 2 resources. So you got one that's going to give you 3 cards. You got one that's going to give you 2 resources. And then you got one that's a neutral gray. Attached character has -1 health. Why not just do I don't know.
Do 1 damage to them? Yeah.
Right? Maybe.
So so if I'm the semi competitive player of the two of us here, that gives a little bit of an insight. If you're ever paying 1 resource to deal
plug
1
for
damage,
Ray downplaying the host. Yes, that was good. Nice dig.
You like that?
Yeah, I got it.
When you're playing a game, your expectation should always be like 1 resource nets you 2 damage. So the fact that you have to pay 1 resource for a card like Wounded and it does 1 damage, you're not really getting a lot of value there. So if that was 0, sure, you could possibly like make a case for that. But the 1 resource to deal basically 1 damage to your opponent's character, not really worth it. And I think you could fill your deck with a lot better things.
I agree with you on that one. I feel like there's some combo, though, we're missing or something. Like, imagine having a Deathmark and a Wanted on a character, and you end up getting 3 cards and 2 resources as soon as somebody, like, dies. It seems pretty good.
No, I think the other ones are a lot of value, especially because they're 0 resources. The one that's Wanted, I think that one has the most, playability, because after the character is defeated, you gain 2 resources.
Yeah.
So, if you could really burn down someone, you can potentially outramp your opponent or get to that kind of late game faster where you're just looking to mitigate things. I think that's really strong. I like that Wanted and Deathmark are both 0 cost. So if you could find space for them, I don't think there's a negative to putting them in your deck.
Yeah, it seems good. By the way, what else seems good is that they've got some new characters here, Ray, that are recently released, like Jabba the Hutt. We're tickled Jabba. Of course, by the way, that's the spoiler I get, is Jabba the Hutt. I don't know what they're trying to tell me. So my last spoiler, and my only spoiler, is Jabba the Hutt. The Jabba the Hutt influential kingpin. That's a 10, it's 10 health. Character, leader, and scoundrel. It's got a die. The die's got 2 focuses. It's got 1 disrupt, 1 discard. It's got a resource and a +2 resource and a blank. Here's what this thing does. After you activate this character, you may look at the top 4 cards of a deck. Seems to be a theme here. Looking at top 4 cards of something. Reveal a bounty or a yellow event from among them. Add it to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. 10 health. It's a legendary. 10-13. Ray, what say you? Jabba the Hutt.
I don't know. He's interesting. Being able to look in your deck is certainly cool. I like that this is like the first Jabba the Hutt that is actually like thematic to what he is trying to do.
Right.
He's going to search for those bounties, the good deals, and he's going to put bounties out for different things. Like, that's really cool. How playable he is, I'm not sure. But the 10-13 is really appealing with 10 health. 10 for 10 is really good. 2 focus is really good, and the +2 resources. If you can pair that up, he can certainly ramp you pretty well. I don't know if the bounties are going to be more sought after to play this character, or the yellow event.
All day.
Because it could do either or. So I'm not sure. I haven't really ever been impressed by the Jabbas that they release. I probably won't be playing them, but I'm sure somebody out there will find a fun tool for them.
Well, speaking about fun tools, here's Captain Phasma comes at you. There's been some talk about maybe letting the reins on Phasma go with the other Phasma that got balanced, right? What was it, 2 points? I forgot what the original cost on
she was a 9-13, and they bumped her up to a 10-14. They really wanted to keep her away from the Kylo pairing.
9-13 was pretty cheap for that card.
It was awesome, though. Yeah. It was my favorite.
It's a good card. But Captain Phasma, this is Stormtrooper Commander. This I can get behind. Look at the art on this card. That doesn't even look like art. I love it. Both of these cards look good. Nobody can really mock the art on these two. Jabba looks amazing. Phasma looks awesome. It's 12 health. It's 18-21. Now you're going to say to yourself, why, Ray? Why? That seems really expensive. Well, let me tell you what her dice is. It's 1 range, 2 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. She's a character, a leader, and a trooper, but here's what she does. You may resolve your trooper dice showing damage as if they were melee damage, and her power action, roll 2 set-aside first-order stormtrooper, number 20, dice into your pool. Set those dice aside after they're resolved or removed. So basically, if you run her elite at 21, you've got her, 2 die, and then you got 2 more die. If I'm reading this right, Ray, you got 4 die for this card at 21 points, 12 health. Tell me about Phasma. Why am I missing it? I feel like this card's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. When I first saw her, I thought to myself, like, we hear a lot of people saying that they're trying to really bump up the health and lower the cost, the play cost of characters. This one, to be honest, like an 18 or 21 for 12 health is a little on the low side, but that power action is really good. Being able to introduce 2 more dice. I don't think we've ever seen a character that could bring 2 dice. We had Seventh Sister who had 1 die that she could bring along with her, and that was great value because with 2 characters you could have a 5 die start. This is really good, and it's really intriguing to me. At first glance, I think you would get a lot of value at maybe 1 dice, and then you can pair her with like a Mother Talzin, and now you are basically a 5 die deck, and you get that focusing ability with Mother Talzin. You could possibly flip her, when you reveal that top card, you could flip Phasma to the 2 focus, and I think you could do some decent damage. Then the upgrades kind of just write themselves, DH-17s and the energy bows. So I'm super excited. I love Phasma. I've actually started reading her book, her novel.
Wow. Going deep in the meta there.
I am. I'm like reading real attached.
You could run Mauler, 1 die Mauler at 9.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do it.
You got 5 die. I mean, and First Order Stormtrooper, by the way, we mentioned it. We teased it earlier. There's a card that's being re-released. So all you people who sold your Awakening stuff, guess what? I'm going to be balling. Ray and I are going to be balling playing our original Awakenings First Order Stormtrooper. They'll be like, where did you get those? And we'll say, well.
Yeah, we're going to look like OGs.
OGs. It's like running a beta Mox, man. It's going to be running First Order Stormtrooper, by the way. We already know what that does. It's 1 range, 2 range for 1 resource, and then a resource and 2 blanks. Those are no die to sneeze at, Ray.
I think the coolest thing was I'm pretty sure they gave it new flavor text because it's a quote from Captain Phasma now.
Oh, well done.
And they gave it new art. Like that's awesome. That's what we've been asking for.
Yeah, you got to do that. You got to. The art stepped up. I mean, next to that, there's a plot, by the way, and you can see it on that the little slideshow I made you, Ray. My homework assignment. Advanced training. That's a plot. It's a red neutral for 2 points. You may resolve your trooper dice showing a blank as if they were indirect damage that have a value of 1. So you can run 4 First Order Stormtroopers in this plot. You got no blanks. There are no blanks on any of your dice.
I think I'm excited about that. I don't know. I think that there's some good design space you could do that with, especially with like Snoke,
right?
Being in the meta.
Snoke. So you go right back to Snoke. We don't want any Snoke on here. Snoke's done. Snoke is like garbage.
Think about this. If the blanks are now showing a 1 indirect, like that's what it says. It reads as if they were indirect, showing a value of 1. You could technically Snoke that side and do 3 damage. So they have no blanks, and Snoke has free reign to pop off damage however he feels. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, can I tell you one, Ray? I'm going to give you one more nugget because that's spicy.
Yeah,
that's a spicy meatball.
You like that?
But I'm going to give you another spicy meatball. The Trooper subtype. You're going to be surprised, Ray, because it says here. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I read it right. I don't want to give the listeners any misinformation. You may resolve your Trooper dice. So that means the subtype of Trooper. You ready for all the dice with the subtype of Trooper? You buckled up? Because this is a neutral.
Shoot.
Okay. Bo-Katan. It's a Trooper. Character, Trooper. Clone Commoder. There you go. He's in the commode. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Discard a reroll at an hour. Enjoy. Where else are you going to get this entertainment? Come on. A Clone Commander Cody. Clone Trooper. Executioner. Finn, Soldier of Necessity. He's a character trooper. Iden Versio, Mandalorian Super Commando. Rex. Vader's Fist is a support trooper, but it doesn't have a blank. And a veteran stormtrooper. That's not bad.
You did your homework.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I went to the database and I did the subtype trooper. There you go.
That's pretty good.
I cut you off, right? What were you saying about you running your four wide trooper deck?
No, I did think it's interesting that if my math's correct, you can't run the new Captain Phasma at Elite with one First Order Stormtrooper and then that plot. You'd have to run her at a single die. I just thought that was interesting.
Why is that? How much is the Stormtrooper? Stormtrooper 7, right?
Oh, 7. I'm an idiot.
21 plus 7 is 28.
You could totally do that.
Plus
That's
2.
a broken deck.
There it is. You got it, Ray. Ray does math, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that.
That's not bad. That's not
pretty
bad.
good. I actually like that. So that's a 5-die start and no blanks.
Let's do it.
Because even your Phasma is considered a character leader trooper.
There are no blanks.
That's a little ridiculous. No blanks.
Yep. Yeah, double blanks. You're going to have to change their name. They don't record it anymore, but when they do, they'll have to change it. Run that plot. Here's one. Everybody talks about Mace Windu. He's back. He's the inspiring master. He's 11 health. Things have changed. He's a 12-16. He's not overpriced anymore. We don't think 1 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 2 focus, 1 resource, a blank. He's a Jedi, he's a leader, he's a character, and he's your bald friend. Power action. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Again, here's the theme. You may play an upgrade from among them. You can play an upgrade, which means you can play it, which means you pay it. You play and you pay. Like Ron Popeil. This isn't for free. If it was for free, it'd say for free. You may play an upgrade from among them. Place the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. If that upgrade was played on a Jedi, give it 1 shield. And that, Ray, goes along with a very cool card, which is right next to it. For 3, it's his lightsaber. It's back and it's purple and it's badass. It's 1 melee, 2 melee, 3 modified melee. It's 2 shield and a special and a blank. This special, it's a power action. Spot Mace Windu to move this upgrade to him. So you play it on somebody else, you move it over, and the special is to deal 2 unblockable damage to that character. And keeping in theme with his original card, if that character has 1 remaining health, defeat it. Mace himself is a rare. Mace's lightsaber is a legendary. Ray, what about these 2 cards? They're going to be super hot going into this new set.
Yeah, I'm super excited about Mace. So whenever I look at a character that seems pretty good, I immediately try to find its pairing. I want to know I'm sure she is, but Ayla is her subtext Jedi. Did she have it on there, or is she like a commander, like something? I'm pretty sure it's Jedi, right?
I'm going to tell you in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I'm going to tell you that, what it is. So you want to see if that is a Jedi, and I'm going to hit search here. And Ayla Secura is a Jedi general. She's a character Jedi.
That's the pairing I think I would go with. Is Elite Mace, Elite Ayla. I think he's really good, and I do like. Did you read in the article? They talk about the special on the Mace Windu's lightsaber as a callback.
Yes.
To the original Mace Windu. So.
Yeah,
they're doing a good job.
But that means that they actually somebody knows the game anyway who wrote that, which is positive. But I like the look of them. I think they look good. I think that's the right cost. The weapon looks sweet. It's got a +3 on there. Looks hot. It's going to be a hot card.
I certainly like. I like the fact that he's going to dig in the deck and he's going to grab the upgrades, because that's what's so important. For a middle deck is you really need to jam those upgrades down. The one thing that we'll have to look into is like, how are you going to be able to afford some of those things? But if you can, get your economy, that's what people call it. If you have your economy correct, I think that he could be awesome.
So he's 16. You got Plo Koon at 14, who's also a Jedi. You've got the new Qui-Gon that's 18, 14, 18, single die. Yoda's a Jedi. That's 10, 13 for now. Obi-Wan, 15, 19 is a Jedi. You got Luke, Reluctant Luke, that's 12, 15. Kit Fisto, that's 1316 as a Jedi. Jedi Temple Guard, everybody's favorite, that's 8 points. Jedi Sentinel, which I think people are sleeping on that card. I think it's good. I think there's something there. If I were smart enough, Ray, that's what I put together. It's 10 points. That's a Jedi. And then Ayla, as you said it. So there's the hot, and you think it's going to be Mace Ayla right away, right?
Yeah, I feel like that would be the go-to. If he was 15, Mace would be all over the place because they were, having this common theme. But for 12, 16 at 11 health, people were always saying, characters are getting a bump in the health as opposed to the cost, and everything's really efficient. That's old school pricing right there. That's what I say. Yeah. That's do me a favor and look up Fin 1. That's basically the same.
It's a bargain. Fin 1's a great card. Fin 1 is 1360.
1316. And for what, 11 health?
You get 10 health for that one.
10 health. All right. Well, there goes my whole argument. But no, I think Mace's sides are really good.
Yeah. And speaking of good, here's another Jedi, by the way, if you want it. It's a character Jedi. He's 1418. He's got 11 health. His name is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ardent Avenger, which I don't know what that means. 2 melee, 3 melee for a resource, 2 focus, 2 shield, a resource, and a blank. Got a power action. Resolve one of your dice showing a value of 2 or more, increasing its value by 1. And I heard some talk about this with Qui-Gon. And doesn't Qui-Gon have some kind of crazy ability? Like if you got 2 shields on him, the value of the die is 1 more. Is that true?
So I've been messing around with Qui-Gon Maz. There's a little spice for you. It does the same tricks as like Obi Maz.
Ooh, that's spicy.
But Qui-Gon is a real beast. I wish that they would stop making Obi-Wan Kenobi's characters so ridiculously priced. His range is from 18 to, I think, 21.
Yeah.
At Elite, you can't get a cheaper Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know. I just wish that they would tone this down a little bit. I think he would have been nice at a 17. Maybe like a 13, 17. Right. But I don't know. The 18 is kind of throwing me off.
There's got to be something going with him. There's got to be a plot there that we're not seeing. Well, they do have a blue one, but it's not at Force Flow. That's a neutral blue plot. It is pot. It could be smoking pot to play it. Force Flow. The action is set this plot aside to turn a die to any side for 2.
That's a horrible card.
That's terrible.
It's horrendous.
I want to just make a soundbite of that so that when like the Hyperloops get on it, you'll be like, well, I didn't mean it was that bad. I mean, it was good.
No, I will stand by that.
Terrible.
Any competitive player will recognize that is bad. I know it's like focus on a stick whenever you need it, but your deck should be tuned enough to provide you with focus if you needed it. And the 2 spots, the 2 plot points that you'd be leaving out, it's either decreasing the power of your characters or, I'd rather have like a stolen intel or a fortify.
Anything really.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't know where they thought that was gonna, but it's in the the starter deck, so that's cool. It's a plot.
Well, yeah, there it is. It says in a 24 card deck featuring blue and yellow cards, including the Force Flow. The Force Flow. Also, what he says when he's in the toilet, let the Force flow. Here's another card, Ray. I mean, if that wasn't enough, I mean, heck with the balance of the 4. We don't need balance in this game. What we need is my mother, what she looked like in 1951. That's what you need. She's the Hope of Mandalore. It's Satine Crazy. She's crazy. Satine is crazy. And she's how do you actually say it? I don't even know.
I think it's like Kraz or Cray.
Yeah, it's better. She's crazy. She's a leader. Crazy. She's a leader from the 50s. She looks like she's on Mad Men. She's got 2 indirect, 1 focus, 1 resources, 2 resources for a resource, and then a blank. And here's what you get with her. You get a ridiculous looking dice, which I'm all for any gender. I'm the one who defends genders when it comes to Destiny. I'm the one who tells people it's not a he on the Rebel Engineer. That's a she, my friends. But this die is ridiculous. After you activate this character, you may reroll one of your dice. This is 8. Now, wait a minute. It's probably going to be in every deck possible because it's 8-10. So there'll be some stupid vehicle deck, and this card's going to. People are going to say this needs a nerf. 8-10.
Yeah, it's an 8-10 for 9 health. That's really good. Like, it's really. But I do know who this character is. Like, I went through all of them, and in every set, like, I'm like, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah. Grandma Jean. That's who it is. It's my mom. It's Grandma Jean. That's who's on there. That's you're going to play.
If you don't know, she is Bo-Katan's sister.
Oh, God.
So there's a little, and then here's another thing. So it was good that you put these two on the same slide.
Yeah. The
Obi-Wan and Satine. Satine was Obi-Wan's love interest that he actually was debating leaving the Jedi Order to be with Satine.
What?
Yes, until Maul kills Satine in front of Obi-Wan.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Rey.
Yeah, listen, and that's where the rivalry, the old rivalry of Obi-Wan and Maul come into play. Not only from the fact that he killed his master, but he put the dagger right in the heart,
literally,
and killed his love interest, which was
Satine. Satine, could they make her any less badass than? So her sister is like the done up in some serious like armor and the Lightsaber, and she's got like an old school belt on and gloves.
She's a politician. She's like a Padme,
right.
Type of character.
Grandma
I
G.
can't wait. Listen to this. I can't wait for all the people that are going to write in or email you about how incorrect I was about my Star Wars lore, because I'm not the most lore-y guy.
Most lore. Well, you're more than me. I mean, I really think that's my mom, like spitting image. And I'll be feeling, but here's what you do. You have a battle. This is good for Alan and I, who are starting the Star Wars Senior Destiny Tour. You can play this card. You know what? Here's what the rules are. You can only play characters that in the version they are in the card are 45 or older. So she looks like she's 45. So I'm going to include her. You got Wolf. You got Wolf over there. Wolf looks like, he's Grandpa Roy. That's who he is over there. You got Grandma Jean and this card. I mean, we could put a whole team together of the senior citizens of Destiny. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty horrible idea. But yeah,
thank you. You got two more, Ray, and I'll let you go. 2 more. General Grievous is back. We already blasted them a little bit. Now they made like the toughest Grievous. What is he? 13 health in the new one across the galaxy, or I mean, it's Way of the Force, right?
Right.
Yeah,
yep.
And his stupid wheel bike. General Grievous, Droid Army's commander, 9 health. It's this is when he like had the smoker's lungs. Is that what it is? Like when he's really like coughs out. It's really Pall Malls are tough people. Don't start vaping. I'm worried about vaping. I think he vaped back then. 1 range, 2 indirect. Sorry, too soon, Ray. I'm sorry. 2 indirect, 2 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. He's a character leader, and while building your team, the point value of each droid is decreased by 1. Power action, reroll any number of your droid dice. What do you think about this guy?
I do think it's interesting that a character in the last iteration of him was a complete melee damage dealer.
Like nasty.
And now we look at him and he's got guns and indirect and focus.
I really think it's when he's old.
It's weird. It's strange. I don't know. I think they could have picked somebody else or did something else.
Yeah.
But I think that they really think that, as far as like appeal to new players, that General Grievous is like somebody that people identify with. I don't know. They love pushing General Grievous.
They do.
They really do. But overall, I think a 9-12 character that with die sides like that will always see play. The 2 focus is what's most appealing. 9 health is still pretty low in this game, but I don't know. I think he's interesting. I don't know. He'll probably get jammed in some deck that maximizes the amount of dice. Like you can put him in a 5-wide deck or a 5-dice deck. I don't know. It's interesting, I guess.
I mean, he's in the starter, right?
Yeah, he's in the starter, so people can have full access to him.
Yeah, 24 card deck in that starter. They almost got to 30. They almost got there. Almost, but not close enough. So there's Grievous. We already talked about Force Flow. And then lastly, talking about droids, this is Commando Droid. And I thought, I'm like, is this a reprint too? Because I feel like I've seen it. And it was Droid Commando. That was a card that was in the, I want to say that was in the 2-player set. So this is Commando Droid as a character droid. It's got 1 range, 2 range, 2 range modified, 2 indirect, a resource, and a blank. And here's what it's got. It says, after you activate this character, you may activate one of your droid characters or supports. Kind of keeping in that theme, like activate 1, you activate them all. Villain, it's red, 7 health. So you can activate your droid characters or supports. Not bad.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think you could probably see this coming into play in an Afra build, because those are the droids. But I will say one thing: is this a 2-player set? Like you get an elite General Grievous at 9 health, and you get 1 of these Commando droids.
Yeah, it's
at
solid.
7 health.
Solid. They're trying to make the games quick.
I'm going to redeem my math on there. That's 16 health.
Solid.
What is that? Like, what the hell is that?
I don't know. I'm looking at the box. I can't. Let me see if I can zoom in on the box.
I was doing the same thing. I was trying to see how much dice, but it just shows the 1 Grievous dice and then some other stuff.
It's got Grievous, Assassin Droid, Grievous Striker. I don't know. Grievous Striker. Is it Grievous? No, it's not Grievous. It's something Striker. Let me get a little closer.
Yeah, you get a little closer.
Grievous Striker. It's as much as I can zoom. I'm like zoomed at like 500%. Commando Droid, Assassin Droid. The Assassin Droid might be neutral. There might be a character. I don't know.
Because, like, then does the hero get, what is he? Like an 11 health Obi-Wan with a 3 side and all this good stuff. And then Satine, I didn't realize that. Satine's part of that.
It is.
2-player set.
So you get Obi-Wan, you get Satine. So how many health is that? She's how many health now?
She's 9, so that's a 20 between the two of them, and then against your Grievous, and like they better throw 2 of those Commando droids in there. You know they won't, but they better.
Yeah, they might, or maybe that other thing's like a 3 health something. I don't know. Obi-Wan Kenobi's Interceptor, is that a ship?
Interceptor. Now, see, there you go. Way to put me on the spot.
Well, that's the die. It's got 3 ranged on it, Ray. Obi-Wan. I said Wan weird. Obi-Wan Kenobi Interceptor. There it is. Wait, it says love interest. How weird are people? Here we go. Interceptor. I mean, it's a freaking Lego. It's a Lego.
It's a Lego. It's got to be canon then.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi's ETA-2 Actis class Interceptor. There it is. Look at that card.
I don't know how people maintain all of this in their head. Like you got guys like Mike Gem running around that could spit off, the deepest, most detailed thing ever about Star Wars, and I just can't even remember.
He reads them all day. He reads them all day. I mean, that's what you do.
Can't do it.
Yeah, I mean that's like freaking photographic memory. I forgot to read the flavor text on one of them. It was that. Let me go back one here, Ray. I'm going to give him some props. It was Wounded. It was that downgrade. The flavor text is it's just a flesh wound. So if you're old like me, that's Monty Python reference.
Yes, it is.
Pretty good.
It's just a flesh wound. Did you see, speaking of flavor text, did you see the Grievous's flavor text? I think that's one of the
Yes,
coolest.
Your screams are like music to my audio receptors.
That's pretty cool.
See? That's where we're headed. It takes strength to resist the dark side. Only the weak embrace it. You know, if I were half my metal, the problem is they'd play, I think if I challenged them, I'm still thinking about Your Destiny. They really slammed Cassian and Jin. You're
really bent up about that, aren't you?
Yeah, because I think that I would recommend it all the way. Like, I mean, not everybody's going to want to play 19 TIE fighters and do all that baloney, you know? Take that deck aside. Let's go. I'll Jin Cassian all day with Mill as the primary win condition. I never thought the day would come where I'd be saying I'd play a Mill deck against him. I'll throw the gauntlet down against those guys.
Throw the gauntlet
And then I'm going to make you play as me, Ray. I'm going to give you my password. You sign up as Mr. Chip. You go on and you play him. No, I would never do that.
I'll take the challenge.
I would never do that. I'm this close. They don't even know we exist. That's all right.
They don't even know we exist.
No, not many people do, Ray. I think that's what it was. I was expecting the red carpet at PAX wasn't a red carpet.
Yeah.
It was a dirty carpet.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you wanted people to just clamor around you.
No, that sounds wrong. I might even just edit that out. It sounds bad. I think everybody. No, everybody's just nervous. I think we're just a nervous lot. People just, I think in general, who play games like this, like, it's, I don't know. I'll tell you. I'll say this: they're clean. There's some games I walked by, even board games. There's some people need to get into those pits. You know what I mean? Wash it up.
Get into those.
Like get it in there. You got to get in there. You're going out. You're going out to play somebody. You got to clean up a little bit. I throw on a little bit of cologne. Yeah, a little.
Yeah,
cologne.
That's the worst part about stuff is. But I've always said I think the Star Wars Destiny community is like a little bit older. So.
Yeah, we're older. We're older, Ray. We're older people. We're old, and we like to play cards like that lady, who's like my mom, in her 50s.
Satine.
Yeah, Satine. Do you like? It looks cool. I bet you that card's going to be good.
I'm telling you, it will be at an 8-10 for 9 health. That's a lot. That's really good.
I don't know. I just think they should have done the RRG. I mean, you got a new set. Taxter, by the way, props to him. He wasn't at PAX. But he's from, he does most of his stuff. Artificery and also, what the hell is it? Knights of Ren. The guy who owns the shop, who's got the funny Fred Sanford hat. What's
Total Access Games?
Yeah,
shop?
what's his name?
Yeah.
Older guy.
He's
probably my age. The guy my age is there. He's playing, and he was in tournament. That's one I wanted to go up and say hello, shake his hand. Nothing.
This is what you have to do.
I got nothing. I got nothing. You didn't, nothing. I wanted one person. Go ahead.
When you got to go through like the Knights of Ren, all you got to go is like you have to do the Sugi intro. Today we have it's like Nick, Rick, Todd, and that's like I think that's it.
It was Rick. Was that Rick? No, it wasn't Rick.
I think Rick and Todd are the Total Access Games guys.
Okay, both nice. I mean, I really like hearing their stuff. I would have liked to play him, but he was busy playing in the tournament. Should have played in the tournament.
Got great. What's the word? Vibrato in their voices.
Yeah,
is that the word?
Vibrato. Yeah,
yeah.
That's from the smokes. That'll do it to you.
From the smokes.
Well, it is. It's called vocal fry, Ray. That's what they call it. It's a little bit of the garble, vocal fry. You got to have the smooth coat. That's the name of the. It's a radio trick. The smooth coat. If you're just joining, it's T, Ray. That's T. You're going to be doing more now that you're the co-pilot. You're going to be doing more talking. You got to keep. I mean, this is your instrument. You got to keep it going. Those in your fingers. I want you doing finger exercises. You got to be sharp. No more missing these shields on the post special.
Yeah, way to call me out like that.
Ray, last thing for you. Now that out of the 100% of people that were listening at the beginning, we got about 3% left. When I want a date, and I want you to hit it within 2 days of when the Balance of the Force holocron is going to come out, and then the second thing is the thing that's going to surprise people the most about it. And I had a total brain fart I was going to say something about Taxter, and I missed it. I don't know, but I was going to say he's a nice guy. And then I went into the diatribe about how I wanted to meet the guy from Knights of Ren, and he didn't even look my way. So, go ahead.
So a date within 2 days. I have to do it.
Well, just give me a date. You and I will throw a date out on the calendar, and then people can track it. And then the other thing I want is, what's the thing that's going to surprise people the most about it?
About the date, or just
not the date. Not the
updates.
date. I don't think unless the date you're going to say the date's June, then the date would qualify as being the thing. But I mean, like after they read it, what are they going to inside their body?
I got it. I understand. You were talking about Taxter for 5 minutes, and I lost.
But I missed. I don't know what I was going to say about him. I feel like he's got a practical sense about him. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, here's my date. My date's just going to be a random, obscure time period, and it's going to be a Tuesday, December 18th.
All right, we'll put it on the books. December 18th, locked in. Your answer's locked in.
Okay.
December 18th.
And we want me to just go right into what I think is going to be surprising?
Yeah, what's going to surprise people the most? It could be what is in there, what's not in there, whatever.
I think that they will not touch Snoke.
Whoa.
That's what I'm going. I don't want them to be honest with you.
You dropped it.
I think that they won't do it.
You don't want them to because you have like 5 of them, and you don't want to lose value in your investment.
Yeah, that the eBay account's still holding strong.
What's funny is you don't. In all the time that I've known you, Ray, and I don't see you, at home when you're doing your Tinker Stinkers, looking through your decks. I haven't seen you play Snoke. Like, I feel like you don't play it. In fact, the Thunda from Down Unda, your icon's Poe. I mean, and you play the first deck you play when you go out, on your own here as the co-pilot is a Poe Han. I don't see you play at the regional when you drove all the way here. You played, what was it, Boba Phasma?
Yeah, there wasn't even out.
Yeah, okay, but
but
you could have thought about it. You could have wore like a Snoke hoodie. What?
A Snoke hoodie.
What
the hell is that?
I don't know.
At the store championship, I brought the Snoke Piet deck. Come on.
Oh, you did.
At the Spice, you were loving it.
That's on me. Yeah, that's on me.
I was playing against Zach and rolled him off the table in 2 turns.
The best part about that is you're like, I've seen you play, Chip. You made a whole bunch of tactical errors in the game you played, and you could have won 7 times against that guy. But, hey, listen, as long as you had fun, you won.
Yeah, no, I couldn't stand behind you any longer.
Hey, that was when I was new. I was really new. Even though I wasn't new, I was new at like that.
I was really new 9 months into my podcast.
Well, you know what? Babies are new when they come out, Ray. You don't hold it against them. 9 months.
True.
All right. I think that's surprising. There is a big move for that right now because people are liking the Snoke. And they're saying, what's-his-face is going to rotate out, Thrawn. And, hey, it's just going to be next person up is what I said on the Twitter, by the way. Follow us on the Twitter. It's Discard TO Reroll. And I actually posted something on Facebook once. You can go over there on Facebook. Just search Discard or Reroll. Send us questions at discardorreroll.com. Tell Ray all the things you think he got wrong. By the way, if Ray wasn't here, you'd really hate the show because Ray's thankfully brought some actual knowledge about the game and about the lore. But yeah, I think those. I don't even know what I was saying about the cards. All I know is the cards, Ray. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to do anything. I don't know when it's going to come out. I think it might be. I thought it was going to be this week. I really did. I thought it was going to be on Thursday, and I was wrong there. I would hope it would be next week. I don't know what tournaments are coming up. They may wait until after Christmas. Might be during Christmas break for those who are in either have kids or in education for a job. I'm going to say, here's my prediction, Ray. I'm going to say, why would they do it next week? What's their motivation? I don't think they have any.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I picked some obscure time period right before Christmas. No competitions coming up, but we are getting into like regional season, which is like weird. Like there's regionals playing today.
Yeah.
And people still don't have a rules and reference guide. Like that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm going to say December 11th. I'm going to say December. I'm saying they're going to come through, Ray. They're going to do it on the 11th. I love it when people listen to this and it's like way past the 11th. December 11th. And I think the thing that's going to surprise people, and it shouldn't, is that they're not going to do a whole heck of a lot when it comes to the vehicles. People are worried about armored reinforcement and all that stuff. If it's true, if what people say is true, that they really have to go to Disney, like someone at Disney gives 2 shits about armored reinforcement for Star Wars Destiny, the card game. You got to be. Do you think there's somebody, Ray, in branding that sits there and looks at that? Do we really think that's the case? Like, I know everyone says that's the case, and maybe one person at one point said that somewhere who might have worked for FFG. Really? Do you really think that, Ray? Someone's looking like, it says here, you want to up armored reinforcements. You want to change it to be only red. Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, here's my thought process, right? So if we always go on the like the notion that you're saying, like you hear people say, well, you guys got to understand Disney, it requires a lot of approval by them and everything like that. If you think that Disney wouldn't respond to the negative outcries of people when it comes to the way that they're managing this CCG and be able to push out a good product. Disney is top notch.
For sure.
They're not going to put their name on something that they believe, is a failure from the jump. They're not going to do it. So, they're committed to this game. They teamed up with FFG. I just really think it's FFG's problem and not Disney's.
I do too. And I think, and no one's going to tell us that, but I just cannot imagine. I just can't that they care that like that hyperspace jump goes in the set aside zone. There's no one who would understand that in any way, shape. Like they would have to have an innate knowledge of the game to understand what that meant. Like they're the arbiters of the game. Like they've put it in their stead. Like they have to be the gatekeepers of, you know, the brand at FFG. Because unless you understood what a plot means and what it means to like have a shadowcaster be, you know, I don't know.
Just put this in perspective. Didn't The Last Jedi, the movie, we're talking major production, a lot of moving parts. Last Jedi comes out, and what was it, like less than a year Solo comes out?
Right.
So you're telling me they could bang out 2 high production films, but they can't make a decision on AR?
Yeah, I can't.
Armored reinforcement, it's really, ooh.
That's really
you might have to get the experts in on this one.
Well, look who's on the cover of this box. Now getting the art approved and getting the, getting the characters that are going to be there, like that, I totally agree. I would think they have very tight, like, timelines on that. And, you know, they have to get this stuff printed, and there's that stuff I get. I totally get that. And with Keyforge, by the way, like that should never be an issue. So if that crap happens in Keyforge, that's their own deal, because there's nobody they need to get approval from in that. They're making that shit up as they go along. Right? But they are. Right?
They really
Who cares?
are.
The Crucible, they could call it the fart head. Who cares what it's called? They can do whatever they want. They can have big fart clouds on all their cards. When you open it up, it smells like a fart. But with this thing,
I can't get into the game.
I know. I'll tell you what they did make is a hell of a 2-player mat. And that 2-player mat, by the way, which for some reason I have 2 of them now, and I don't even play, that 2-player mat is going to need to be that size for Destiny with all these downgrades. You got downgrades, upgrades, plots, vehicles, mods to mods. Holy crap.
Mods to mods.
I mean, you mod a mod. You're modding mods.
A tinker is what it's called. A mod to a mod.
Ray, where can people find you real quick? If they want to go see the Thunda, if they want to see the Copilot in action, where do they go?
Thunda. God, would you stop saying
it? It is Thunda. That's what it is.
4 podcasts before you stop saying it.
Is it not what it's called?
All I want for Christmas is for you to stop saying Thunda.
What is it? Thunder?
It's Thunder.
All right. I'll try my best.
You know how you turn something as a grown adult that I'm giving myself a nickname, you're actively making fun of it, and it makes me feel worse about it.
What? The Thunder nicknames, Ray, in education, as long as they're positive, are actually a way that you can show kids that you care. Give kids a nickname, as long as they're okay with it. But you're not okay with it. You're telling me, your body, your reaction's telling me you're not okay with it.
No, I love it. It's. I hope someone comes up to me and asks if I'm the Thunda.
And then their friend says, from Down Under. And you're like, yeah, man, come over here, because they clearly wanted to see you. They didn't want to see me. Yeah,
and then we all talk.
Drew,
is that how that would play out to you?
First thing Drew
someone would say, hey, you're the Thunda, and a friend would
say Down Under. That's how that would totally play out.
I hope it does. It
did. It almost did. I'm telling you, this part is not, I mean, a lot of it is an act. This part is not an act. Drew said, first thing, so by the way, he's like, I don't know. He says he's 6 foot, but I'm 6 foot and he's taller than me. He says, Ray, your new co-host? First thing. I don't even think he shook my hand yet.
I'm going to have to talk to him about that. It seems like a little aggressive.
No, I think they were thinking where you fit within their team. I don't know.
No, they don't call me up.
Well,
I just listened to their most recent podcast. They said, and up next, we're going to have Tommy from Golden Dice Podcast.
Tommy's a little celebrity. Tommy looked like he got punched in the eye at the end of PAX. I would have had his back. Something happened. He got something in his eye. Maybe it was Drew. Maybe the Drew pox got to him. He had to go to a wedding. His left eye looks like Rocky Balboa. In honor of Philadelphia, the guy looked like Rocky Balboa through a few rounds with Apollo Creed when he was done. So the Copilot, Ray, they can go see on the tube of you. I can link to it in the show notes, which nobody looks at anyway. But if you did, you go to YouTube, you type in, you give them something really easy, Ray. I'm sure there's no result. They type in Copilot. You come right up, right? Let me see what comes up when I type in Copilot.
No, I'm telling you, it doesn't at all.
Dude, what were you thinking? Come on,
I think it comes
man.
up like aeronautical, YouTube accounts. And
dude, is it Co-Pilot?
No, it's just the Copilot because I had to look up if Copilot was one word or not, and it's totally one word.
Okay, the Copilot, and the first thing that comes up is the poor Copilot, a channel called the Copilot. That's not you. There you are. You're the third. You're there.
Am I the third one?
Well, the fourth link down is the Copilot Poe Han versus Jin Cassian.
Oh,
and then your
that's
channel.
me.
That's not bad. Okay, just type in the Copilot with this rolls off the tongue with a space in between the and the Copilot in YouTube, or you go to Discard to Reroll Twitter, or you follow at Thunda. What's your Twitter handle?
It's at More Than a Pilot.
Now, what's that?
That's the subtext of Poe Dameron.
Oh my God, you got all kinds of names now, Ray. We're going to work on Ray next time.
Look, it's just what I like is the like the Resistance pilot, flavor is what I'm going for here.
That's trademarked. Now we're going to get sued. I'm even saying it. I'm going to get sued.
No, we're not.
All right.
They don't listen. They never listen.
That's true.
I don't
blame. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. I don't blame FFG for sitting on people for. I think they're helping you when you put out art. Like Disney's could stomp on everybody because of using their brand, right? I mean, and I get that part of it. And so I think there's a little bit of a dance they do in a positive way. But just communicate. Just talk to people. That's all you got to do. Just stop over when people are 95 people or 98 people are playing in a trilogy tournament at PAX Unplugged. You go over and you shake some hands. You kiss some babies. You politic a little bit. That's all you got to do. That's all you got. It's all we ask for, Ray. Just a little bit. A little handshake, a little noogie. I want a little noogie every once in a while.
A little noogie.
Right? I mean,
maybe a little Thunda and then from Down Under.
Yeah,
shot.
a little,
maybe a little bit of that.
little ticky. That's all I need. That's all I need. Just a little something.
Remember the guy who was running the Jawas at the regional and
I remember
screaming Utini and named all the Jawas.
He sounded the alarm. Yeah, Bartholomew. I want to. You can run that now with what's the plot that gives them all extra health?
Yeah, a no allegiance.
Yeah, I got to have some guts and do that. Have some guts. Yeah. Ray, I do appreciate it. You gave an hour, 40 minutes of your life that you and the audience are never going to get back.
This is true.
Send us questions at discardtoreroll.com. Ray, the third time's the charm. After the third time, if you're still with us, maybe we need to make something official here. We got to get the Copilot on board for permanent flight. We'll see. We'll see if you want to do it.
Ask the people what they want. Well, just ask them what they want.
All right. We'll throw it out there. We'll see what they want. Also, next time, Ray, we're going to do, if you happen to be in the area, which is just be on Discord in your computer, we're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions. I've got a few of them. That's on next episode. And I've got the results from our survey we did right when the new set dropped across the galaxy, where people talked about what they thought were going to be the hot cards, which ones they didn't want to play, and then what the meta or what the set would be known for. And you'll be very interested, Ray, in the results because there's some interesting, spicy results too. What people predicted and how accurate they were.
I'm interested. There you go. I want to, before we wrap this up, I just want to say, that was very nice of you to extend like an invitation of like on our next episode, we'll bounce up, these questions off of each other, because the very last episode that I was on, I said to you, "Oh, are we going to talk about that in the following episode?" Uh-huh. You said maybe. You gave me the maybe.
I said we'll see.
We'll see. we said we don't know. We don't know where anyone will be.
Yeah, we don't know. You could be here. I could be there.
Yeah. Now he's including me and stuff.
Ray, we were supposed to be recording at 3. You ran into a ditch with your car. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to keep our head up. We're going to be smiling. We're going to throw down the gauntlet against Your Destiny podcast over there in Denmark, who's mocking my deck, saying, "I don't recommend it." That's Spanish, but he said, "I don't recommend it." He said, "I don't recommend anyone playing that deck." I think that was the quote. But Ray, what does Ray tell me to play? Jin Cassian.
I think I'm back.
Oh, did you go away?
Yeah, I did go away. You didn't even notice.
Yeah, because I was trying to throw the gauntlet down. I need you to get my back because when Your Destiny comes after me, you're the one who's got to play.
Hey, listen.
I'm like the little dog that like barks a lot, and then you're the guy behind me. You know what I mean? Like the muscle.
I got you. I got enough tattoos to look slightly intimidating.
Ray, thank you. Hey, Ray, you know what they always say?
I don't know what they always
good.
say.
They say, may all your rerolls be special ones. That's what they always say.
All right. All right. I'm not going to say I hate that sound off.
What do you prefer?
I don't know. Just anything more like a we'll see you next week.
You gotta have something.
Have a good one.
All right, everybody, have a good one.
Because there's a new card. It's called Squeak, Streak.
You talked all about it.
It removes all your specials.
Interesting.
So I'm just putting that out there.
All right, well, if you play that card, Ray, in a deck, that could be your calling card for the Copilot.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll see you next episode. How about that? It's episode 30. See you next time.